You're listening to Creatives Crushing Anxiety, the podcast for online business creatives looking to minimize their anxiety and maximize their productivity through systems organization and time management. I'm your host, Dia Darling. Let's do this. Welcome back to Creatives Crushing Anxiety. It is January 2023, and this is the first episode I am recording probably in 6 months. I will dig into what I've been doing this last year, because even last year I didn't record a lot of episodes in the first half of the year, but I am just so excited to be back here with you guys, and I want to talk about so many different things. So let's just jump right into it. So this past year I got quiet, and I think what happened was I started 2020. I was I was like the rest of the world. I was in a new normal, but it allowed me to put my head down, start saving, because I knew I wanted to buy a house in 2021. So in 2021, I worked like a dog, saved money, paid off debt, built a house. And then last year, because I was so still in that mindset of make more, make money, which is not bad. A lot of things in my life has been easier the more money I make. It's just, that's just how it is in this world that we live in. But I was working so hard. And I remember in the spring of last year, I was so enamored with other clients' work. And I remember I have a really, really good friend. She's one of my work wives that I worked with on several accounts over 2022 and even before that. And we had like these intense simultaneous launches together. So it was really stressful. Like we would get up early, we'd be on late. Like her and I, actually, that's how we became so close. But having that experience of just like the exhaustion and being so focused on client work, I didn't make time. I'm not gonna say I didn't have time, because that's one of the things that I'm being very mindful about, is saying I don't have time versus I didn't make time. Because yes, time is a limited resource, but we do choose how we spend it. And I think having the wherewithal to, and I'm going to talk with my hands a lot. So if you're watching the video version of this episode, I am sorry, but I'm really passionate today. And I guess maybe I'm a little nervous because it's been so long since I've been here with all of you. But anyway, back to my original thought. When you're in that phase, and you're just exhausted, and I hit a level of burnout that I had not hit in years because I'd been so careful not to hit it. And it was just, I don't know if it was that I took on too much or I took on too much that was chaotic. And as a project manager and a person with high anxiety, being in a job that is too being where I'm constantly in reaction mode versus preparation and following a plan is very, very draining for me. So I hit this level of burnout, and I said, I think the last launch ended in the beginning of May, and I said, I'm going to take a vacation this week. And I don't think that I'd taken a full 7 days in a row off since maybe I was still at my day job. So I took a trip to California with one of my best friends, and we had a wonderful time. I got to meet another work wife that I've only known online, who lives there. So that was great. But it was really the little trip and reset I need to keep moving forward. So after that vacation, came back, was working. Still, things were still busy, not as bad. And then of course there were different periods that were busier than others. But I realized over the Christmas holiday that I was still very, very burnt out. I wasn't taking care of myself in the way that I knew to do. And in between realizing that I was burnt out, I'm in November, and that vacation in April, realizing that I spent a lot of that time while I was in client work, but also nesting. I think a lot of times people, especially you hear that with new mothers, they hit a phase where they're nesting. Well, in my house, I hadn't really nested. Most of the stuff was set up within a week because I'm that person, but I hadn't really just let myself really make it home, even though it felt like home, but I was just really wanting to be here, wanting to experience like what I liked and what I didn't like, and just make this place like my place. So I was doing all of that. And after giving myself some space, like maybe in like December, and I was finding myself like more ideas, more creativity just coming to me, things that I wanted to talk about on the podcast that before it was like, okay, I'd sat down several times last year after I produced the series all about, my methodology to buy my house. After that episode, I'd sat down a few times over those couple of months and said, okay, this is going to be the new podcast schedules. We're going to start in August. We're going to start in September. We're going to start in November. Oh, we're just going to start next year. And even this episode that I'm recording right now, it is January 10th as I'm recording this. I wanted to record the last week of December so that we could, and I'm sorry, I'm going to keep saying because I don't have a script. I have a few notes. It's literally less than a paragraph, but the idea is like I wanted to record, and of course I didn't, but I'm recording now and I'm excited about it. It doesn't feel like a drain. It doesn't feel like a box I'm checking. And I think that's what's really important to me. I always tell my clients like consistency is best. And I agree with that. And I agree with getting yourself out there. But I have decided to give myself the grace that I already have 100 episodes of this show. Yes, I want to keep doing solo episodes. Yes, I want to keep doing interviews. Yes, I want to keep doing series, but I don't necessarily know if this is going to be a weekly thing or even a bi-weekly thing. I may just come in when I have something to say, and I know that can be a little frustrating, and it may look like this year I have stuff to say every single week, but I'm giving myself that grace. So that when I do create, it's coming from a place of like, this is stuff I want to share. This is stuff that I think you will find valuable. This is stuff that I think will help you. Versus, me just coming on here and being like 10 tips for blah, 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 because I feel like I should do something. So that's where I've been. I have been healing. I've been quiet. I've been making moves. I think so often in this world, we feel like if no one sees it, it didn't happen. And I feel like I am living proof that some of the most magical things happen when no one notices. And that's why so many people think that people have an overnight success story. And it's like, no, you just didn't see the work. And I think you always hear, and maybe it's just me, but I feel like I'm always hearing different gurus say, don't tell everybody your goals. Don't tell everybody what you're working on. Like have maybe one or two people that you trust that you can talk to about things, but do not feel the need to just because that can hinder it. Like when there's other people involved. So I think that I've been doing a lot of that. I've been doing a lot of work on myself. On the personal side, I decided, I think in August, that I wasn't going to date for the rest of 2023. And that was amazing. It took so much pressure off of me. And not that I felt like I was trying to beat some timeline or get married or anything like that, but just even going out with my friends, it was like, I can go and I'm looking cute, but I'm looking cute for me and for the pictures we're going to take, but I'm not worried about meeting a dude. Like, so that was really, really nice. And I feel like even now it's only 10 days in, but I'm coming back. I guess technically onto the dating scene. And it's just like so fun and lighthearted. And I'm also just, yeah, it's less stressful. I can't go, maybe I'll do a solo episode all about the dating thing and what I've discovered and some of the books I've been reading, but just really working on myself. And I've been healing a lot of the things physically and emotionally that have made it hard for me to show up in a way that I always thought that I was supposed to. And not that I want to do the things that I'm supposed to do, but even when some of the times when I would have these ideas of things I wanted to talk about on the show, like the idea was the end of it. Like I didn't have it in me to to actually record the episode or make notes so that I could go through the different points of the thing and go into depth. So because I just didn't have the energy and I hadn't done the healing. I had a slip disc over Thanksgiving break. So I've been going to the chiropractor regularly. I started seeing a nutritionist. I'm like, obviously I'm still in therapy. I'm a huge component for therapy. If you've listened to the show before, I've gotten back into meditating. I had actually really stopped meditating. And I used to meditate every day. Um, and the past like couple weeks, I've been getting back into that. And I want to just take a minute. This is not a sponsor, but I have started using this app. And of course I can't remember what it's called, but it's really helped me. Habit Tracker. It's literally just called Habit Tracker, where you put in the things that you want to do on a regular basis and you check it off and you get reminders. And my things are simple. It's like eat servings of veggies today. Eat 2 pieces of fruit or 2 servings of fruit. Don't drink 4 days out of the week. Yeah. Don't drink 4 days out of the week. Do meditation every day. Work out for 3 to 4 times a week. So I can check those off. And it's funny. The reason that I'm sharing this app with you is because I've tried different apps like this in the past, and a lot of them are so strict on what's in there, and you can only use templates. But I actually was able to create my own goals, and that is really important to me. I think I've always expressed pretty vocally that one size fits all is not the way to go for most things in this life, especially in business. Now, all of my goals here are personal goals, like physical, mental, spiritual goals that I've set for myself, and they're in my app. But not doing a one size fits all where I have to do, like, I can actually decide the things that I want to do and I put them in there, and it's just like clockwork every day. And it's been so easy for me to stay on track since the new year started. But yeah, I've been healing. I've been making moves. I had a really successful year last year. Stressful, but successful. And I've also started leaning into other services that I desire to offer and that I've been doing for years, but not officially. And so I'm really excited to announce some of that stuff to you guys. So keep an eye out for that. And then one thing that I thought about was the fact that we only get one life. And I'm just going to share this story with you. I have a friend whose husband, perfectly nice guy, like we've always gotten along, but he always asks me like, how's the business going? And it feels different whenever he asks. Anytime someone else asks, like it just seems like they're genuinely wanting to know. For some reason with him, I feel like he's never bought into the whole working for yourself thing. So anytime I'll be like, oh, it's good, it's busy, or oh, I'm so tired this week, blah, 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 blah. And he'd be like, well, that's good because you know what happens when it's slow. And that feels so toxic to me. And I am so sure it's not with malintent coming from him. It's his own preconceived notions that or either I'm just interpreting something that's not there, maybe some insecurities that I have. You'll see the self-awareness that I've been working on not perfecting. Ooh, let's not even go down the perfection street. I've been working on being more in tune with why I react to certain things, why I respond to certain things, why I take things a certain way, which has really helped in stressful situations. I've even had some deep conversations with some friends about things they've done to hurt me, or things that I've taken as a slight, and this is why it makes me feel this way. Just for an example, I have a friend who I feel like there's been a disconnect with for a while now. And it came up. I said, well, you never come to like things when I invite you. And she goes, well, you get mad. And I said, no, I don't get mad that you can't make it. I said, I don't intend everyone to show up to everything. I said, what upsets me is when you say you're going to come and you don't come, and you don't say that your plans have changed, or you just don't respond to the invitation. I said, because we're supposed to be good friends. Like literally, this is someone who refers to me as one of their best friends. I said that for me, being like really sitting with this, and why does it bug me so much? I said, it brings up things of abandonment for me. It makes me feel like I'm not worthy of that 30 seconds. And no one owes you anything. But if you're going to say that you're one of my best friends, and let's say I'm having my birthday party or house party or Christmas, whatever, and you tell me you're going to be there, and then you don't show up and you don't at least say, hey, and especially if it's not like, oh, my mom's in the hospital, and it's just like, oh, I was tired, so I decided not to go. Text me that day before, especially inflation. Like I'm buying party supplies to like feed people. Like don't have me buying a whole extra person set of, I don't know, chips and salsa, whatever. I make more than chips and salsa at my parties. That is a tangent. You can tell I have not done this for a while, and I promise the next episode I will have more thorough notes so I'm not just rambling at you. But I just realized that, to go back to what I was talking about, I realized that that was so toxic in the like, well, if things aren't busy, if you're not stressed out, you're not doing well. And I think that's how we're taught. You have to work hard. Yes, you will have to work hard, but that doesn't mean that you need to be stressed out. It doesn't mean that you need to be breaking out in hives all the time. That's happened to me. Doesn't mean that you need to be laid up with the flu in order to slow down. Happened to me. Like, you can choose what it is that you're working hard on. And I think that's where the exhaustion and the burnout comes, when you're doing things outside of your zone of excellence and your zone of genius, or you're doing things that just don't light you up and you're having to put in so much and it's distracting you from doing the things that do light you up. And I think it's all about finding that balance. It's all about saying, okay, this is my job. I am good at this job. This job isn't necessarily my favorite thing in the world. It's still work, but it's something that I can do and I enjoy doing it to an extent. But I leave that job at the end of the day, even if it's like you work from home, like I do. It's like I stop working at 5 p.m. every day. And then I spend time doing the things that I love. I spend time doing art. I spend time like hanging out with friends. I spend time writing, whatever it may be, and just giving yourself that space. Because when you're working in such a bam, 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 like ongoing, like stressful situation, you don't give yourself that time. Because even if you like, I'm very, very protective of my weekends, but even when you work like that, you're not enjoying your weekends. You're sleeping in, you're taking naps. Like, it's not you experiencing the stuff that lights you up. Granted, a good nap can light me up. But with that, like, I want to break through that notion, and I want to help people realize that yes, you have to do hard work, but not everything requires hard work, and not everything is worthy of your time and your effort. And really getting clear on what's important to you, what you enjoy doing, what you're good at doing, as well as things that maybe you don't want to do anymore, and creating some sort of plan to avoid, like, not avoid, because that will have a negative connotation, but to stop doing those things, to let yourself have more space to do the things that you enjoy doing. Because we only get one life. And I think that I really definitely, and I've lost a lot of people in my life, um, from various things, but we only get one life, in the sense that you can't, like, there's going to be days that you want to give up and you want to quit and you can't. And I don't mean that to be toxic to say you can never take a break, switch directions, like rest. I'm saying you can't give up, like, just being here. Sorry, this is like kind of an emotional topic for me, but life is so short, and you have to put in what you want to get out of it, and you have to do things that you enjoy, and you have to do things from a place of love, and just allow yourself to feel joy. And even when things are hard, being able to sit back and sit in that feeling and say, okay, yeah, I hate this client today. Like, just say, like, if that's what it is. And that's just an example. I hate this client today. And then maybe sitting there and asking yourself, well, what is it about them that I'm saying that I hate? Is it actually the person, or is it something that they just said to me? Oh, okay, it's something they just said to me. Okay. Well, what exactly did they say? What am I reading into it? What do I think their intention actually was, if I take off my perception? And how can I move forward? I think we don't have enough reflection in this world. I think so often we're like, we go, 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 and we don't get to sit and feel our feelings, our emotions, or even just face some of the things that we're afraid to face, and we don't get to process. So then it just piles on. I think about any time that I've had an argument with someone, that there's been stuff, like, you may notice stuff will come up that you're like, this isn't even what we're fighting about, or what I'm supposed to be annoyed about right now, because you have never dealt with it. And it doesn't necessarily, dealing with it doesn't always mean that you're going to have a conversation with that person. Sometimes it means you're just going to have a conversation with yourself, and get your head straight and get your heart straight, and figure out what you need and just how you feel about things. But yeah, the thing is, we only get one life. So you have to make the most of this one. And in the spirit of talking about the new year, and I guess I really don't even know what kind of review to give you, other than I had a amazing and a difficult and learning and growing year in 2022. And without sharing too much about my plans for 2023, I will definitely say right now I have things I know I want to accomplish this year. But as far as planning, I'm not planning more than 3 months ahead of time for my business. Right now, that may change, but I'm just focusing on like the next 3 months, because if the pandemic and everything else have taught us anything, it's that like life happens. So instead of spending, because you really could just spend hours and hours trying to plan a full year out. And if life happens, that's going to throw a wrench in it. So like, let's just go with 3 months. Like that feels good to me, just quarterly goals and being able to adjust those. But I will say that definitely, I don't believe that I made a word of the year last year, but this year, the word of the year is love. Love, 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 love. I want to speak to people from a place of love. I want to hear people from a place of love. I want to do things with love. I want to find moments to be grateful, to be exciteful, to be excited, to love the different things in my life. Like there, like even this, which you can't see if you're listening, but this water bottle my sister got me for Christmas, I love it. I'm obsessed with water, and I'm obsessed with the insulated bottles. And this one is 32 ounces. So it's wonderful because I drink a shit ton of water. But just being so grateful. Like sometimes I'll just look to the side and be like, oh, I love this. I love this water bottle. And I feel like since I've been doing that, my days have been better. Even when I get frustrated, I can like laugh about it or say, well, hey, this is annoying, but it's also kind of funny, or this is annoying, but at least this part is great. Just allow myself to operate from love. And it doesn't necessarily mean romantic love. It just means love in general. Like I just want love and I want to feel good and be happy. And I think I know a lot of people had a really hard time during the pandemic, but for me, 2020 was actually a really, really good year for me. And in 2021, I did a year of gratitude. So each day I would get on Instagram and say something I was grateful for that day. And it would range from I was grateful for the conversation hearts. I was grateful my grandpa got out of the hospital, just like all kinds of levels of things that I was grateful for. And I wanted to take a minute. And I think operating out of that place and having that gratitude just instilled in me, and as a part of my daily practice, which it is now on my Habits app, allowed me to accomplish a lot of the goals because I was coming from a place of positivity, So yeah, that is all I really wanted to tell you. I do have a few more episodes I am hoping to record. So we will just see how it goes. If you are listening to this episode and if you've gotten this far, I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you are new here, then definitely go check out some of the older episodes. You may even notice a change in me from then to now. So it may look like this year I may go back and revisit some of my favorite episodes from a fresh point of view, because we're all changing, we're all growing, we're all learning, and this is life. So thank you so much again for being here, and I will catch you next time. Bye.
This has been Creative Crushing Anxiety. For more podcast episodes, visit diadarling.com. Did you enjoy this episode? Then go ahead and leave a review on iTunes. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Catch you next time.